So, some biographical info about Charlotte's Web. It was written by E.B. White and illustrated by Garth Williams. It was published on October 15th, 1952 by Harper and Brothers. Fun fact about the book is E.B. White actually didn't tell his publishing company or his editor that he was writing this book. And so it was quite a bit of surprise to have this completed book, and they ended up publishing it in the end. After 3 years of writing, White wrote Charlotte's Web after Death of a Pig in 1948. Death of a Pig was about his own account to not save a pig from being butchered on his farm. He was raised on a farm and raised with livestock, so we can assume that Wilbur was inspired by one of the pigs he grew up with. And we also assume that Charlotte's Web's purpose for writing was to save that pig that he failed to save in Death of a Pig. Some rewards and events that happened during Charlotte's Web was it is 78th on the all-time best-selling hardback book list. It has sold more than 45 million copies and been translated into 23 different languages. A 2004 study found that Charlotte's Web was a common read-aloud book for third graders in schools in San Diego County, California, and it is considered a children's classic and has been read in classrooms since it was coming out. In the reception, there were mixed reviews in the reception of Charlotte's Web. Authors thought that Charlotte portrayed female authority, creating similar themes in books like Little Women, but a lot of people were conflicted with his death scene of Charlotte in the end, and they tried to give E.B. White to change his ending, and even in the movie they were trying to change the ending, but E.B. White wouldn't budge and just left it as it is. Charlotte's Web was also adapted into a movie, both a live action movie and a cartoon movie. We actually don't know the reason why White wrote Charlotte's Web. We can assume that he wrote it after Death of a Pig to save a pig, but we don't know the reason, and he hasn't told us the reason, and nobody knows the reason. And another fun fact about the story was Charlotte was a real spider in a barn that he grew up in Maine. We don't know the location, but we know that it was inspired by her, and he, in his account, that he watched that spider for hours and for years, and Charlotte is based off of that spider that he found.
Basic overview. Author E.B. White was discussing the importance of love. Wilbur's days are short. Wilbur grows a bondage with a few characters that try to create a plan to save her. Love is an important feature when choosing a good friendship, and that is something that the author was explaining throughout the entire book. After Charlotte passed away, it gave an important meaning of life to Wilbur, the strength of a good friendship and how far that can go. There was a quote that I read in the book, and it said, "We're born, we live a little while, and we die."
Hello. So, my part of the project was talking about the textual selection, but before I go into what part of the text I selected, first I want to talk about the general theme of Charlotte's Web. And so the story is about two animals who find friendship in one another, and the friendship is pretty unlikely considering it's a bloodthirsty spider and a runty pig. And so they end up saving each other a lot, and they both grow from each other. So it's pretty easy to say that the theme is friendship, and it's, it's the beauty and love of friendship, and also how to and like a true friendship, and also how to choose true friends, and then how far like a true friend will actually go for one another. Charlotte is a true friend, and Wilbur is vice versa as well too, and we see it throughout the book. So there's this scene that I want to talk about. It's chapter. Never mind, I don't know how to read Roman numerals, but it's the chapter titled Last Day, and it's on page 163. So it's the scene when Wilbur and Charlotte are saying their final goodbyes, and it's right after the fair where that secured Wilbur's fate in a better way, in the sense that he's not going to become Bacon, because now he has worth to the farmers and all that, and that's because of Charlotte. But so there's this line that I'm gonna read out because it's like the epitome arts. It's the epitome of their friendship and what it meant. So it goes like this. Why did you do all this for me? He asked Wilbur. I don't deserve it. I've never done anything for you. You have been my friend, replied Charlotte. That in itself is a tremendous thing. I wove my web for you because I liked you. After all, what's life anyway? We're born, we live a little, we die. A spider's life can't help but being something of a mess. With all this trapping and eating flies, by helping you, perhaps I was trying to lift up my life a trifle. Heaven knows anyone's life can stand a little of that. And so that, I think, it sums up true friendship, or rather what E.B. White was trying to say was true friendship and what his audience should strive for, his audience being young children. So Wilbur helped give Charlotte's life meaning, and just by, being her friend. And Wilbur says he never did anything for her, but she's saying that just the simple fact that he was her friend, that was enough. Like the simple act of just being someone's friend, that's worth everything, at least in Charlotte's mind. And so the scene continues with Charlotte saying that she's going to die, and Wilbur of course tries to find a way to stop that, trying to find a way to save her, but she says it's not going to happen and that her time's done, all of that. So what he can save is her children, or her egg, which will have her children, that she laid previously. And so he puts them on the tip of his tongue and carries them back to the farm where they eventually have. So he hatch. So he couldn't save her, but he did save her memory and her children, and that was enough.
Okay, first and foremost, the assigned text that I chose to connect with our book is American Born Chinese by Jean Yang. Two characters we're focusing on is Jin Wing and Wei Chen's friendship. We can all first assume that their relationship was a little bumpy from the start due to the insecurities of Jin Wing and how he was portrayed as an Asian stereotypical individual. Other than that, throughout the book, Jin Wing and Wei Chan's friendship grew, and they bonded over a robot. As in the book, it states, "What is that, Jin? A toy robot." After that, we can visualize and see and comprehend that their friendship grew as they became closer. And so then also to correlate with our book by Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, um, we focus on Wilbur and Charlotte's friendship. You could see throughout the story in the beginning, um, their relationship as well was a little um, not normalized in the barn. However, throughout the book, you could see that Wilbur learns a lot from the guidance and mentorship from Charlotte. As in the end, when Charlotte dies, she states, "Oh, you have always been my friend. You have been my friend." And so the moral of this is the relationship between the characters. It prevails the theme of true friendship, and in addition, the growth of prosperity and friendship and loyalty in the book, and how they've always communicated with each other. And for example, our group number one, we've all, from the beginning, we were all quiet, these are complete strangers, but throughout this semester, we've all gained a little
a little friendship and bond between each other. For instance, we could talk about random things or rant about this whole pandemic. Thank you.